Pergear have sent me their new S10, their Laserstorm S10 diode laser to test. They've sent me this for free to do a video review, but I'm not being paid by Pergear to do this video. Here I'm just unpacking it and assembling it. Very well packed, and there's nice quality tools included as well. So the frame's assembled. I'm then sliding on the gantry, attaching the control box, and it all went together very nicely. Putting the other 3 feet on, the control box forms the 4th foot. I'm then attaching the drive belts for the stepper motors, and there's these special little T-lock nuts that go into the aluminium extrusion and grip it. I was struggling a bit here, and I ended up taking off the control box to attach this one, which was a simple job. Just gave me a little bit better access to fix the belt in place. I just slotted that into the T-slot, tighten it up, and that fixes that end of the belt. Control panel back on, and then this, you thread it under the first wheel, over the toothed gear, and then under the second wheel back into the groove. The instructions weren't very clear on this point, so I thought I'd try and show you how I did it. It was quite difficult to film, but it was a fairly simple job. So you can see it goes under the first wheel, over the second, and under the third. You then tension it and tighten it at the other end, and you can see how it works now. That bar runs the full width of the gantry, so it synchronises with the other side. Here it is assembled. If you tip it up, it should just slowly slide down like that. There's the laser module. As you can see, it's the atom stack laser module. It's a dual diode 10 watt output. Very easy to fix with a single hand wheel on it, and that also acts as the focus wheel, and very easy. Then the wiring loom. It's very obvious where all these push in. Few cable ties just to hold it in place. Make sure there's not too much tension on those plugs. Plug in the touch screen, which just connects to the control panel at the front. Very nice touch screen, quite difficult to film though. You get this little micro SD card with it. Here I'm just focusing, getting the distance right for focus. They give you a special acrylic spacer to use for this. This is Lightburn, the software I use. There are other software systems available that you can use. I really like Lightburn. It's really good for designing and operating the printer. But what I'm doing here is just exporting the G code onto the memory card. You put that in the machine, and then you can operate it from the touchscreen. It is vitally important that anyone using the laser or standing around the laser wears the special safety glasses. There's a very strong laser light that can easily damage your eyes, so please take all precautions necessary. And away it goes. All I'm doing here is burning various circles with different settings, different strengths and speeds and number of passes, just to try and work out what is going to work best on this 3mm laser ply, which is what I mostly use on the laser. If I had air assist, it would make quite a difference to the outcome of these test cuts. The other thing to bear in mind is I'm just cutting on the base sheet, the protective sheet, just to stop it burning through onto the table. You're better off with a grid or one of the honeycomb beds underneath. But I got the cleanest cuts with several passes rather than one slow pass. Here I've sprayed a stainless steel kitchen knife and a small sheet of glass with some matte black acrylic primer. Here I'm just hitting frame on the control panel, just so I'm checking that my logo is going to go on the correct place on this knife. And here it is starting the burn. I engraved this at quite slow speed and high power, but the result was absolutely amazing. It was a real proper engraving, as you can see from these images. And it's been through the dishwasher several times and it still looks good. The only thing is it's a bit distorted on one edge where it clipped the handle. The end of the laser just clipped the handle. Here I am just etching or engraving some glass. This actually came out pretty well, but my filming was dreadful. But, you can see the design there, but you can't really see it here, but it was pretty good. It would have been better if I'd actually filled the design rather than just the outline. Got another unboxing now. This is the rotary or roller unit that goes with this laser. It's the Pergear roller unit, but it will fit several other lasers of this type. Get the 4 legs to raise the height so you can fit the roller underneath the laser, and you get a couple of different leads. It's a very solid metal bit of kit. You unplug the Y-axis stepper motor and you plug the lead from this into that connector. And here it is burning away. This is a beach rolling pin I use for my milliput demos. You can see the legs there just to raise up the height. And there it is. I did a couple of different burns. I got it wrong a couple of times, and then I sussed it out properly and got it right. So then decided to make something decent to put on it. So I was out in the workshop, safety gear on, and let's fire up the lathe. This is a block of oak cut from a bigger plank. And let's get it to round. So here I'm just roughing it down until it's round. This is a roughing gouge, and this is a skew. So I'm just neatening it up and paralleling it just with a skew chisel. Very difficult piece of wood, very interlocked grain on this piece of oak. It's very hard, very dry. This is a spindle gouge to create my beer bottle shape. Just doing it from memory. Not that I've seen that many beer bottles, of course. Just getting it roughly right. It doesn't have to be perfect. Bit of sanding. And it actually came up very nice, this piece of oak. And here it is on the roller, doing a framing pass first before, and then we do the burn. This is quite a deep burn, hence all the smoke. I've speeded this up, this isn't real time. But it worked very, very well. Would have been better with air assist. It would have got rid of some of this sooty stuff. You can see on the surface there's sort of a little bit of overburn, and it was quite sticky, the surface. So I put it back on the lathe and actually sanded the surface back a little bit. And because it was a deep engraving, it came back up beautiful like that. I'm just finishing off with some automotive acrylic clear coat. I only put one coat on and it did the job beautifully. Here I'm just showing that there is a little bit of bounce on the laser head, but which is greatly reduced when it's raised up higher. And you can see here the bottom one was done with the headset low and the top one was done with the headset high. You can see there's a little bit of shake on the lower one, whereas the top one's perfect. So what I did was I built up my bed with a couple of blocks of wood, and that's my homemade honeycomb. And this is another test piece that I'm just burning here. This is a dice that I designed. Very simple project, but it just shows how well this cuts. They all just pop straight out. Absolutely brilliant. And they all slot together, making sure the opposite sides add up to 7. And there it is. The joints were absolutely perfect. So I was very happy with that. I've had great fun testing out this new laser. It's the Laserstorm S10 from Pergear, and it's got a 10 watt output. It's got dual diode lasers in it. So it's very, very powerful and very, very accurate as well. It really is a very, very capable bit of machinery, and with this roller setup, the rotary setup, it's brilliant for me as a wood turner. I could do stuff like this. The quality of that engraving was really exceptional, and it was very easy to do. There's some things I absolutely love about this machine. There's some things that I think could be improved a bit. Things I love: very capable laser unit, very easy to set up. Setting the focus distance is very simple using this knob on the side, and you use this spacer. Very easy to do. It's got an emergency stop button, and it's got an offline screen, which is really, really handy. So you can put the memory card in. No need to have it connected to your laptop or anything like that. You can put your design on the memory card and control it all from this, which is really good. And in fact, if you're using the roller setup, I would recommend doing it offline. It's a lot easier to set up positioning and everything just doing it from the touch screen rather than trying to do it from your laptop. But yeah, very, very accurate. Not only did I make this novelty beer bottle, but cut out this dice or die, and it did it very, very quickly, and it's immaculate cuts on this. Very, very accurate. I even did some glass, which I coated in black primer, which I use for car body spray. And it was a good engraving on there. I had to mess about with the power a bit because I shattered the first piece of glass. It just overheated. I engraved stainless steel, and that came out really, really well. Very, very impressed with that. I'll put the settings I used in the description if you're interested. This has not got air assist with it. There is an air assist kit you can fit to this, and I would strongly recommend with a laser this powerful using the air assist. It'll give much nicer cuts, and you'll be able to cut deeper as well. It's something I wish I had for this, would be the air assist. The other thing I wish I had was would be the proper honeycomb bed, which makes, when you're cutting through things, gives a much cleaner cut. I've got my homemade bed, which kind of does the job, but a proper honeycomb bed would be better, and there is one that fits this laser. Things I'm not so keen on with it: this gantry on the top is really high, which causes a couple of issues. It won't fit in my laser housing in my workshop, and it was built on the generous side. The motor is set on this moving part, whereas it'd be better really if it wasn't attached to the laser module, you know, the stepper motor, because it's just too much inertia. The other thing is this extrusion along the top of the gantry should be a lot deeper really to provide a more stable platform. The other thing you'll see, as it is set up at the minute, I've built a platform to raise the bed. This is so that I can have the laser module set as high as possible. when it's lowered right down, there's too much bounce. It's not play. All these runners and everything are perfect. It's just the flex and the bounce with the weight of the laser and the stepper motor. It causes bounce or vibration because this is a very fast laser, and when it's moving fast, you'll get slight zigzag lines in places. If you set the laser as high as possible by raising the bed, you don't get that. It's perfect every time. Really good engravings. It doesn't matter if you're just doing linear engraving, such as when you're on the roller. It doesn't seem to bother that at all. But when you're doing high-speed, intricate engravings, it does matter. So I'd keep the bed as high as possible. I did have trouble connecting it to my MacBook, but I think that's more a problem with the MacBook. The MacBook just didn't recognise the laser most of the time. Every time I disconnected from my MacBook and went to reconnect, this is in Lightburn by the way, it wouldn't find the laser, and I'd have to manually enter the laser details each time and then select the laser I've manually entered, and then it would find it, which is a bit of a faff. But to be honest, I preferred printing offline, putting the designs onto the memory card and then putting that into the machine and using the touchscreen, and that was so easy and nice to do. But really, you know, a very impressive bit of kit really. I'm going to have to build a new housing, aren't I, to fit it in. Yeah, I'll put some links in the description, check those out, and as I say, I'll try and give you an idea of some of the parameters I used. But whenever you're burning anything like this, you're better off just doing little experimental pieces first and working out which settings suit the materials you're using. All these materials vary slightly, and if you're using air assist, that will make a big difference too. Air assist stops a lot of the charring around the edges. It reduces the risk of flame, and it's just much cleaner cut, and because it's blowing away the carbonised debris, the cut will go deeper and cleaner. With this bottle I slightly overburnt this. It's quite a deep engraving, but that's not a bad thing because it meant I could sand it back and get this lovely clean sharp edge without sanding away my engraving. When you've got strongly grained wood like this oak, you're better slightly overburning, because otherwise you'll get a very uneven engraving with the difference in the grain structure across the piece of wood. So you are better off really overburning it a fraction and then perhaps sanding it back. With air assist you'd get less of that sort of, it's almost like tarring in a way, that you get. It's a little bit scorching. But yeah, that's my review of the Laserstorm S10 from Pergear. Brilliant for wood turning and for my plywood boxes. I like making little gift boxes and things, and it's just brilliant for that. It does the job perfectly. Anyway, I'll be back soon with some more videos. Many thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. And I'll be at Yandles at the end of this week, Saturday the 10th of September. So come along and say hello. I'll be demonstrating milliput in wood turning.
More rubbish coming soon. Please like, share and subscribe.